Breaking tonight with horrific new atrocities playing out each day and Americans increasingly unhappy with how the administration is taking on terror, the president tries to repair some of the damage and convince the country that he can keep us safe. Good evening and welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. In just the last week, the administration has been rocked with repeated controversies over its handling of the threat from the Islamic State terror group. First, almost 24 Christians are beheaded, and the president's team is hammered for failing to identify the victims as Christian or the killers as Islamic. As the White House told it, Egyptian citizens were killed. Then the Attorney General of the United States comes out and declares that we are not at war with anyone, a statement he has to retract hours later since the White House just sent a war authorization to Congress and is in the midst of a bombing campaign in Iraq and Syria, not to mention Afghanistan. On top of that, the State Department has been relentlessly questioned over the last 48 hours after Deputy Press Secretary Marie Harf seemed to suggest that the key to ending the terror threat is to create more jobs in the Middle East, as if Walmart could make a real difference in Syria. Here is the president just a couple of hours ago.
Al-Qaeda and ISIL and groups like it are desperate for legitimacy. They try to portray themselves as religious leaders, holy warriors in defense of Islam. That's why ISIL presumes to declare itself the Islamic State. And they propagate the notion that America, and the West generally, is at war with Islam. We are not at war with Islam. We are at war with people who have perverted Islam. Of course, the terrorists do not speak for over 1 billion Muslims who reject their hateful ideology. No religion is responsible for terrorism. People are responsible for violence and terrorism. Poverty alone does not cause a person to become a terrorist, any more than poverty alone causes somebody to become a criminal. There are millions of people, billions of people in the world who live in abject poverty and are focused on what they can do to build up their own lives and never embrace violent ideologies.
Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry joins us live now. Ed?
Megyn, the bottom line is this was the president as community organizer, trying to bring local Muslim leaders together to help them stop the recruitment of young jihadists. But he offered little urgency about Christians and Jews being slaughtered in real time, instead framing the battle against ISIS as what he called a generational problem. We're told tomorrow's conclusion of the three-day summit will be much more focused on actually putting out a strategy to defeat ISIS. But a good chunk of today was about helping Muslims deal with what the Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson said was hardship and discrimination. The president writing an op-ed in the LA Times today declaring the only way to succeed at countering violent extremism is to address what he called legitimate grievances that Muslims have, something I pressed Josh Earnest about. Listen.
What would the legitimate grievances of either ISIS or any other extremist group be?
And I don't have the op-ed in front of me, but I believe that's actually a reference to the efforts of the administration and obviously local law enforcement and other community leaders here in this country to prevent ISIL from succeeding in recruiting and inspiring people to join their fight.
Now, Ernest said he could not explain why this weekend he put out a statement about the 21 who were beheaded and did not mention their Christian faith. Nonetheless, the president today, again in his remarks, talked about the 3 Muslim students who were tragically killed at the University of North Carolina recently and mentioned their faith, even though Ernest admitted at the podium today they don't know what really happened in that investigation. They don't have all the facts yet, Megyn.
Ed Henry, thank you.